Welcome to another edition of NetStruc Talks. This is Sharon Leid, your host, and I'm excited to be here. As an entrepreneur, sales can be tricky, and most of the time it can be dreading if you don't do it correctly. Sales is mandatory in business regardless. Today, I will be speaking with a sales expert with over 40 years of experience. She helps clients simplify the sales process, and remove the fear in sales. Stay tuned. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think I was muted.
I heard everything.
You heard it? Yeah, it was muted on my end. I got to do that over.
That's
Shoot.
okay.
Okay, we're still taping. Okay, I just got to remember at 10. Let me redo that. Let me pull you off. Welcome to another edition of NetStruc Talks. This is Sharon Leid, your host. As an entrepreneur, sales can be tricky, and most of the time it could be dreading if you do not do it correctly. Sales is pretty much mandatory when you are in business. Today, I will be speaking with a sales expert with over 40 years of experience that helps clients simplify the sales process and remove the fear in sales. Stay tuned. Welcome to an edition of NetStruc Talks. Again, it is Sharon Leid, and I am here excited with Donna Smith Bellinger, who is a member of an organization that we both belong to, and she is a sales expert. Now, listen, whoever is listening to this, you need to hear what she has to say. 40 years of experience in the corporate and entrepreneur world in sales. So, you know, she's doing something right. She's bringing women who are transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship and showing them that sales, you don't have to be scared of it. You don't have to be scared. You have to do it actually. So, Dr. Donna, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Sharon. This is such a treat to be able to be with you today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But listen, treat on the show talking, it's all great, but we have so many entrepreneurs that are totally scared of the sales word. And they say, oh, I want to go into business, I want to do this, I want to do that, but when it comes down to actually talking numbers and talking about what they're worth and really having it come out of their mouth,
hmm
they get scared and they freeze up, and then they end up saying, I'll do it for free. How many people have come to you with that?
This happens very, very frequently, Sharon, and this is what it looks like. If you are a woman, this doesn't happen too much to guys. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't do that. When men talk about sales and when they talk about business, they are finance forward. It
Mm-hmm.
is women who have been raised up in the mentality of being of service and being a
Mm-hmm.
caregiver. It starts with our first baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they wanted to get rid of you, there would be, oh, I hear your baby calling, that kind of
Right.
a thing. And we're supposed to go, or that dreaded easy bake oven. I saw someone in my building get one delivered, and I said, oh, that poor child, because that child is starting to be programmed. So I had a wonderful conversation with someone yesterday. You and I both know Sharon Rayer of the
Mm-hmm.
Impossible Mastermind. And one of her members gave me a ride to a luncheon that we did yesterday. And I had to explain to her that we devalue our gifts simply because they're easy for us to do. So some of my most favorite success stories are people who thought they couldn't get paid for very simple things that they do. But if you think about it, there are a ton of things that we would gladly pay other people to do for us. One of my favorite clients, it started with cookies. Okay. Another, it started with lawn care. Another, it started with fabric. Okay, and my sweet spot is showing you how to monetize whatever your particular gift is, because there are people who will pay you to not have to do that thing that they don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, and it doesn't matter if it's baking, if it's cleaning, if it's sewing, if it's telephone calls, whatever it happens to be. Do not devalue your gift.
Right.
That's our first mistake.
And it's so funny you say that, because last month, well, not even last month, a couple of months ago, I was a speaker at an event that I was honored at, and one of the things that I spoke about, which I wanted to empower them, was do not devalue your gifts, because when you do that, you pretty much just negating all of the things of what you have been dreaming about, what you want to get to, your journey. You're literally just crushing it when you devalue it. And people will look at that and they won't tell you, oh, you know what? No, that's not it. What do you really want to charge? No, they'll say thank you and take it and keep sucking and keep sucking. And then you get frustrated as an entrepreneur. And then you start hating what you're doing for something that you ended up loving to do. So the clients that you work with, I'm pretty sure you get clients in the beginning stages of, hey, you know what, Dr. Donna, I started this business. I want to learn how to do my sales correctly. And then I know you have the ones that are pretty much almost at that point where they're like, you know what, I'm ready to give this up. I don't want to deal with it because I'm not getting paid what I want to get. I mean, how do you deal with your clients like that? Because I know there are two different styles that's coming to you. One is energetic and one is like, I'm done.
Okay, let me give you a couple of examples. So first of all, I know that we have all been like all so deep into the Essence Festival. Anybody take a look at what's going on with the Essence Festival? There is a woman who is one of the top speakers at the Essence Festival, Cheryl Grace. Cheryl Grace is one of my clients. And before she began to do her journey in fabulosity and the coaching that she does, she was the head of supplier diversity for Nielsen. When she made the transition from Nielsen to her own business, she came to me, because we had kind of bumped into each other a few times. And she said, you know what? I've always been the one paying the money. Now I've got to ask for the money. And I don't know quite how to do that. And so she and I have been working together on that so that she would be able to consistently, all my people have heard me say this 1,000 times, you must learn how to consistently communicate your competence in order to get paid. And that's one of the things that I have worked with Cheryl on to grow her business. So if you all are Cheryl Grace followers,
That's you.
She's brilliant. No, but I help her to do what she needs to do. I have people who have been in PR, people who have been in insurance, all of these things. And it is a matter of learning how to consistently communicate your competence so that people understand why choose you.
That's important.
It's so important. And
and
you have to be really unapologetic about that.
Right.
So one of the first things that I work with people on is their introduction, the elevator pitch. Sharon, I know you have heard some of the worst elevator pitches in the world, right? How about, I'm looking for everybody who, if you know somebody who, those are not your people.
Right.
And I'll explain that real quickly. Y'all looking at this? You got me? You with me? Hear me right now. You don't like Everybody.
And guess what? Everybody doesn't like you.
First chapter of my book. I did a book years ago called You Lost Me at Hello. Actionable Principles That Move You Beyond Networking. First chapter in that book says, not everyone will like you, and you really don't want them to because it's too time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
All
And it
right.
makes sense.
First chapter. Next, don't wait for everything to be perfect to put your things out there. This book was featured in Essence magazine with a typo on the cover.
Oh, wow.
With a typo on the cover. It was featured on television with a typo on the cover. Just get it out there.
Wow.
Just get it out there. And I don't even want to tell you how many people had previewed this book and done things before it happened. But the bottom line is just get it out there and do what you do. Make sure that you are able to communicate why people want to communicate with you, why choose you, and what is the value that you bring to them that's going to move them forward. You know, just in that car ride that I had yesterday, going back and forth to Sharon Ringer's thing, and I'll be speaking at Sharon's event in Florida, can't wait, in Tampa this fall. But we had a spirited conversation about the fact that you must just understand how to show people not only what you do that is going to help them, you know, the why choose me, but
Mm-hmm.
also how this is going to benefit them. One of the things that I talk about, and then when you give me permission, I'll go into it, is we do not know how to pre-qualify people to make sure that we're speaking to the right people.
That
And
is
I have a
so
script for that.
important. Yes, that is so important. And I learned that the hard way. You know, when you sit down, you again, your first chapter of the book, not everybody, you don't want everyone, and everyone doesn't want you. So you can't go through everybody that reaches out to you and say, you know what, that's time. That's your time, which is equal to money. And then you're going to find out that, you know what, this isn't the person that I actually want to deal with. And I just wasted maybe 30, 40, 50 minutes of my time that I could have been doing for something else. So yes, please, let's go into that, because that plays a big part in terms of your mental and how you are going to go further with individuals and working with them.
Okay, so Sharon, I want to say this. A lot of you are coaches, experts, all right, in various areas. And when you finally get the opportunity to have a conversation with someone who says, claims they're interested in what you offer, you immediately move into people pleaser mode.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk to a prospect or even a client, and I'm like, how long did you spend speaking with that person? Oh, we had a good time. We talked for an hour and a half. We spent half a day together. I'm like, are you freaking crazy? Are you crazy? So step number one is owning the value of your time. There's something that I have on my website, and you go to donnasmithbellinger.com/time. And on that particular widget, you choose how much money you want to work. I mean, how much money you want to earn, how many hours you want to work. And then answer all of the other questions, and it will tell you how much your time is worth. And on average, our time is worth between $198 and $350. And some of you are going, no, yes, it is. So when you meet with an individual, when you choose to spend your time visiting an event,
Mm-hmm.
if your time is worth $150 an hour, $200 an hour, according to that widget, then when you walk into that, it's not, y'all see how good I look today? Nobody's going to pay you for that.
Right.
So who in that room is going to pay you your hourly value
Right.
so that you can make your dreams come true? And through making your dreams come true, you are able to serve more people. Because the majority of the people that I serve are people who are concerned about serving others.
And that's key.
That's what they're interested in. So if that's where your heart is, don't give it away for free. Understand what the value is. Quick case in point, we are in the US sheep. We are followers. We follow the big names. We follow the people who get results. That's what we do.
Hmm.
So you need to make sure that you understand. And Sharon, you asked me about this, so I'm going to make sure I throw it in here right now. The difference between the people that you target
Hmm.
and the people who will pay you.
That is
Because if
important.
you make enough money, you can serve the people who can't afford to pay you, to move them into a space where they can. I'm going to say
And
that one more time because I want you
yeah,
people to really understand that.
absolutely.
There's a difference between the people you target. Oh, I want to work with people who are my first client. He wanted to work with people who were recent MBA graduates, and he wanted to show them how to navigate corporate when they moved into corporate after they got their MBA. And I told him that's not going to work. And he said, "Why?" My answer was, when you went through all of those years of schooling, student loans, all of those papers, all of these professors, were you going to pay another $3,000 to $5,000 for someone else to tell you you're stupid? And immediately he went, "No." I'm like, "Thank you." So what we did was we took his particular process, repackaged it and restructured it. Guess where we sold it? To
Where?
people who support that. We sold it to Notre Dame.
Okay. You
And
sold it
Notre
to the
Dame
institution
created an additional program
program.
that he could do to sell to Notre Dame funded it, but
Hmm.
we were able to service the young people before they graduated,
Makes sense.
and then they go out.
And
So
he
one of my
wouldn't have done
favorite things is to say it's not what you're selling, it's what they're buying.
right.
So wrap it in a different wrapper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the angle. It's all in the angle. And I'm putting my publicist hat on. And when you're pitching to the media, it's all about the angle. It's about how would you have to think like the public, you have to think like the journalist. The journalist wants to make sure that their audience is going to be entertained. This is information for their audience. And the way you package it is that their audience is going to be in tune, because that's what's selling. That's exactly what's selling. So sales is similar to that. From what you're telling me, is that you have to package the message differently for them to see that I need your services more because of this.
This is all about, first of all, who are the stakeholders? And some of you may not know what stakeholders are. That's okay. Talk to me. I'll get you straight. But the bottom line is, if your ideal client doesn't have the money to pay you your rate, the answer is not to drop your rate. The answer is to determine who does have the money that supports that specific group. All
Makes
right.
sense.
So
Makes
it's like, I can't say it the way I usually say it, but let me say this: it's the same stuff, different wrapper. Okay. So
I'm
you
sure
have to,
everybody can interpretate that.
but that's the ideal
It
for
is.
this. So who do you know that has the budget, whose focus is the people that you feel would most benefit? Don't even go to who I like to work with. We don't care.
Right.
Who would
Always
most
benefit.
benefit from the solutions that you provide?
Absolutely.
A lot of us feel that we get the majority of our business from referrals, and people come to us and they say, I heard about you, this, that, and the other. So I want you to go and find me, Donna Smith Bellinger, on LinkedIn. Go into my recommendations. My recommendations always have a money line. I train my people to do that. I don't want them to grow a brain and do it some other kind of way. I want to tell them exactly how I want it done. Sure,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about. So it's always, when I met Donna, my challenge was X. As a result of working with her, I learned X. And as a result of that, this. So you'll see things in my recommendations on LinkedIn, such as I made more in my first month working with Donna than I did the whole previous year. You will hear things like, I learned from Donna how to maintain my biggest client. Okay. These are the types of things that are the money lines that when people read them, they
Mm-hmm.
will say, I would pay for that. Now, if
Right.
they're telling you you were really nice, you were really personable, it was simple to follow, I don't care. I'm still broke.
Right.
What is it that you're going to bring to me?
Exactly. And how
That's
am I
where
going to
this
benefit
comes
from
from.
that?
Okay, Sharon? So I dumped all of that on you. That's some
No,
of the stuff we
and
talked about.
that is interesting, and that is neat. Entrepreneurs need to know that. And sometimes it's the way that you say it. So they may have heard it one way, but this is the real deal. This is the raw real deal. That you need to really understand how you need to understand your gifts. Do not devalue it. Everybody is not your client. You should not like people and work with them because you just like them. You need to work
Or
with
you want
people,
them to like you.
or you want them to like you. Exactly. That's not business. That's not how you're going to be successful. That's not even how you're either going to break 100,000, 50,000, or even 25,000. Whatever goal that you're looking for, it is a number attached to it. The question is, are you going to do it the right way? So my thing is here, I want to ask another question here. The fear of sales. Ooh, a lot of people. I remember when I was doing network marketing. That's how I started out in the entrepreneur world. And I would go and I would talk to people and they'll say, "Oh, you know what? That's a great service, but I'm not a seller." And and I sit there and I say to myself, at first I used to believe it, like, you know what, maybe I'm not a seller either. But everything that you talk to people about to convince them, you're selling. How do you, deal with the fears of selling? Like, do you have any steps or anything, or your prerequisites in terms of, okay, this fears of selling, you need to literally just take this out of your head?
Okay, the first thing is, yes, I've got over 40 years of sales, just so we understand.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold, okay, people, just listen up. I have sold everything from Avon to $500,000 technical solutions, all the way through the thing. The fundamentals are the same.
Right.
You want them to say yes and think it's their idea. So, how do you get them to do that? The first thing that you do is you show them the value of working with you. It starts with what we call pre-qualification. So I'm going to give you a really quick mini dive into a course that I have available, and it's called Sales is Not About Wait and See. Do you want to get paid now or eventually?
Mm.
And I created that because there were far too many people. I would talk to my clients and say, what happened with your sales call? And they would say, well, I'm waiting for them to, and I would immediately, no, really, we're not waiting. Does the electric company want to wait? Does your car payment want to wait? Do your children want to wait? We're not playing that game.
Right.
So when you were doing that, here's what I need you to do. First of all, when you have a conversation with someone, ask them, what is your biggest challenge right now? And they're going to tell you what it is. Weight, health, finances, real estate, my career, whatever it happens to be. Really? Okay, I get that. I get that. So how long have you been dealing with that particular challenge? A day, a month, a year, a decade? Really? And what have you done so far to address that? Now, this is where you get to find out where their head is at. Is it a whole bunch of free stuff, free workshops, books, things like that? Or have they invested to address that challenge? Next question. How much is not resolving this challenge costing you in your business, in your career, in your health, in your relationships? Come on, get granular, find out where it
Mhm.
hurts, and let's talk about that. All right. And when, not if, when this particular challenge is addressed and resolved, what will your life look like? What will your life look like? Well, I may be able to save my marriage. I may be able to get off of a cane. I may reduce the number of doctor visits I have. I will probably be able to be more effective on my job. You know, they're going to tell you exactly what it is. Pull it
Right.
out of them.
Right.
And then you want to show them how your solution will address that. Oh, wow, that's really cool. How much is that? No, that's not the point. Let's talk some more about, when we fix this. So, when this is fixed, how is it going to affect your life, your relationships, your health, whatever? Really? So, it'll stop you from having to have a divorce. It's going to reduce the number of doctor visits. It's going to help you to get the promotion. It's going to really, what's that worth to you? Because if we don't do it, 5 years from now, where do you think you're going to be?
Same place.
You're going to be divorced, unemployed, da 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 da, Larry Mo Curly. What is it?
Hmm.
Make them face that. Make them face that. And then say, okay, I have a solution that can help you to accomplish dot, dot, dot.
Right.
Would that be of value to you? Well, how much is it? That's not the point. It could be free, but if it's not going to help you, it doesn't matter. Would this solution help you? Yes, it would help me. How bad do you want it?
You're
These are the
li-
conversations that you have,
right. I was
such
just
that
about to
when
say
you do tell them what the investment is, it's not a cost, people. What is the investment? What are you willing to invest to save your marriage, save your job, save your health, help you with your children, whatever that particular thing is? Okay? And then it's like, I got you.
that. Right. You got them into that conversation. You have to have that conversation in order to get to that point, in order for them to see that the services of what you're going to be providing is going to be valuable enough. That investment is going to be whatever because it's changing their life.
Sales is service. So quit thinking about sales as sleazy and pushy and all of those other things. You went into whatever the skill set is that you are promoting in order to help people, to help them get a divorce, to help them have a good estate plan, to help them to have better insurance, to help them to understand Medicare, to help them to improve their health care programs, to
Mhm.
help them.
Absolutely.
You do not have to be apologetic for that.
And it's sad that entrepreneurs, and when you started in the beginning, you spoke about it, women entrepreneurs, because we do that a lot. Men don't really do it. And you made me think about that because when I deal with men in deals with sales and things like that, they're straightforward, no blinking eyes or anything, no saying, you know what, you're a really nice person. I might just, let me discount this or whatever. I am a type of person that I ask, what is the investment? And if I can do it, I'll say, let's go for it. If I can't, okay, let's see when I can. Let me crunch some numbers. That's my conversation. Because first of all, if I'm coming to you, that means I value what I've heard and what I've seen about the work that you've done. So now the question is, can I really do it right then and there? But women, we are that type because we're emotional. We're emotional beings. We're like, I like that sister. She's got some great work. I really and truly believe. And then they come to you with, hey, by the way, and I got this literally maybe a day ago. someone asked for my services and I gave them what the investment was. And they said, well, I asked what their budget was. And they said, well, how about if you get me into the room, and on the back end, if I get the contract, you'll get your fee.
Well,
Excuse
play that. So here's what the deal is, so we all understand. Um, when I started out, I started in vocational education. I began working in technology. I did technology consulting for a lot of years. This is the way it rolls. I can give you this result for this amount of money. Oh, well, I really don't have that. Okay, two ways you can go. Number one, who are the other stakeholders with budget who would be a part of this? And I'm saying this for my people who are dealing with corporate contracts and things like that. And if they say, I don't have anybody, terrific. You need me to lower the price? Yes. I tell you what I can do. I will remove this. I will remove this. That's going to bring it to that. That you can handle. But I wanted all of that. Then we have to figure out a way to find the money. So what do we have to create in order to make that happen? Why? Because, please, people hear me, because I am a business owner. I have people that I have to pay. Plus, I kind of like having my lights on too.
Exactly.
So you have to work with me. This is not a hobby. This is not a little side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So when you begin to do your introductions with other people, please go ahead and start with people who pay me are looking for XXX. And an average investment for working with me to achieve these results is X. When I work with my realtors, I'll tell them point blank, don't tell them you do first time home buyers if what you're looking for is 7-figure properties. Are you crazy? No, because they will think that this is where you are. And that's the way they will view your skill set as opposed to here. And if you have the credentials to validate it, please go ahead and do it. I have a client right now I work with, and as he and I were digging, and he's a photographer and a videographer, and I dug, and he says, "Oh, I do some things for architects, and I do headshots, and I do this, and I do that." I'm like, "What else?" He said, "Well, last year some of my projects were featured in Fortune magazine." I'm like, "I'm gonna slap you.
Don't you hate that? I get that all the time. I get that
I'm
all
gonna
the
slap
time.
you."
Tell me on the top of your head. Don't let me have to pull out your red apples. How you forgot that red apple? How you forgot that uniqueness part of you?
Yes, yes. So do not, if you are an award winner, tell people, I am
Absolutely.
very good at doing X and I have the awards to prove it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, really be absolutely shameless and unapologetic
Apologetic.
about
You
your
know,
brilliance.
Dr. Donna, it's so funny because sales literally is similar, in fact, the same as public relations.
Mhm.
Like you have to be unapologetic when you are talking about your gifts and how your gifts can help people, because the media does not want to hear about how, you decided to put this together and this is how it works. No, it works this way because it helped someone. It worked this way because you have years of experience. You've done this over and over again with results to prove it. That's what the media wants to hear. And sales is the same thing. Your particular client wants to hear your results. It wants to hear how your services is going to change their lives. And that's why the investment is this investment, because you are going to show them that this is what you are going to get. But you got to be up in front with it. You
You got to
have
be
to.
completely unapologetic. Guess
You
what?
have to
I'm
be.
good.
Absolutely.
And
Pat
I will
yourself
tell
on the
people
back.
in a heartbeat, no, I'm really good at what I do.
Pat yourself on the back. That's what
And
I
if
tell
that's what
everybody.
you want, this
Absolutely.
is what I have done. So I have done these projects, these projects, these projects. Are these the type of results that you're looking for? Yeah. then that's what it's going to look like.
You got to pat
So
yourself on the back. You have to toot your own horn. You
you
have to be
have
your
to
own
be able to,
cheerleader. You have to be your own cheerleader. That's the
you
name of my
also
book
have to
coming out. So
understand
it
completely
you have to
what
be.
your time is worth. And when you take a look at someone and you know what, if I work with you, and it's always an if, because it's like if I choose, not if they choose, it's like if I choose,
Hmm.
and I give you some of my secret sauce, I'm going to save you what? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I'm going to help you to get these things done. Don't argue with me about a $1,500 tab,
Yeah.
because that means that you like having the crumbs. None of my clients want crumbs.
I don't think anybody wants crumbs, Dr. Donna. But
There are
listen,
people who are willing to settle. They have a
yes,
certain level that they know that they can get without working very hard. And
absolutely. And
what they
they
do,
have
I'm
to
calling
change.
y'all out. You lower your standard of living to the least amount of effort that you have to put in. That's what you do. That is not benefiting the people who depend on you and the people who are learning from you. So if you are in an MLM or something like that, you have a team, you want to grow a team, and you are willing to settle, that's not who they're going to follow.
Right.
They're going to follow that 6, 7 figure person because that's their dream.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody takes on a project to kill themselves to make somebody else's dream come true.
Absolutely.
Please understand that.
Absolutely. Dr. Donna, I would love to continue this conversation, but we are close. We are at the end. And I just want to just put your contact information up here so everybody would be able to contact you. And listen, I know you said that you have some programs, some workshops that you put up. I know you do a couple of projects and events on LinkedIn. Please follow Dr. Donna on LinkedIn. You can
And join
definitely
me in Florida.
and join her in Florida. Yes, briefly talk to us about the I Am Possible Woman event that you are going to be speaking at with Sharon.
Okay, so one of the people that I work with and support is Sharon Ringer, who has the I'm Possible Mastermind. And Sharon is bringing together a very select number of women in business. And we are going to be doing this in October. We're going to be in Tampa. I would love for you to join us. It's a real exclusive VIP kind of a thing.
It definitely is.
And this is going to be a way for you to connect with people who are like minded. And we're also going to really dig into what you would like to create for yourself, for your business, for your family, for your spirit. So if you are not a part of the I'm Possible Mastermind, look up Sharon Ringer, join us as a part of Smart Women Partner, which is another LinkedIn group that I participate in. And then, of course, I want you to join me in Fearless Sales Conversations on Facebook and follow Ask DSB.
And all of that information. And Dr. Donna, you gave us a lot, a lot. Listen, I would love to recap, but we are running out of time. Make sure that you guys listen, follow Dr. Donna. Like I said, if you want to send her an email, her email is right there at donna@donnasmithbellinger.com. Go to her website, axdsb.com. Reach out to her. She has a wealth of information. She dropped so many gems today that I don't know who right now is going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to become an expert like Dr. Donna. So, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Donna. I really, really appreciate your time and your effort for coming in and joining us on NetStruc Talks. And I just want everyone to know that this will be aired. This airing is all about NetStruc. NetStruc Talks is all about talking to entrepreneurs, talking to individuals about things that they just do not know. So thank you again. And once again, I will look forward to seeing you at the next NetStruc Talks. And remember, if you are looking to gain more traction with your brand exposure, make sure you follow me every Tuesday on my YouTube page, NetStruc PR, for my PR Tipsy Tuesdays. And what it is really is just giving PR tips for the entrepreneurs. You can also follow me on LinkedIn at Sharon Leid and also NetStruc PR. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. Dr.
Thank you,
Donna,
Sharon.
once again, thank you. And we are going to have you back on to give some more little gems about not being scared with sales. Take care, everyone.